Hello and welcome. If you're a teacher or a school leader, you know the buzz around artificial intelligence isn't just, well, buzz anymore. It's happening right here, right now, in our schools. So today, we're going to dive into a super practical guide. Think of it as a roadmap for all of us educators trying to figure out this whole AI thing. Let's jump in.
All right, let's just start with the elephant in the room, shall we? This quote, it really cuts right to the heart of the anxiety a lot of us are feeling. The fear isn't really about the tech itself, is it? It's about our role, our value. But look, this isn't a threat, it's a challenge. It's an invitation to lean into everything that makes us human. And that right there is the million-dollar question. How do we do it? It's not about frantically trying to learn every single new app that comes out. It's about a much deeper, fundamental shift in how we approach our jobs. And the answer isn't some complicated theory. It's a clear, actionable journey that we're going to map out together right now.
But first, we have to acknowledge it. That feeling of being completely overwhelmed, it's real. Ever since tools like ChatGPT just exploded onto the scene, there's been this constant hum of anxiety. Are we doing enough? Are we already falling behind? You're not alone in feeling this way. It is a shared experience all across education.
And look, this isn't just a vibe or feeling anymore. The pressure is getting real. Take the school AI usage survey for 2025-26, for example. The questions it's asking aren't about if we're interested in AI. The questions are now, is AI baked into your school's annual development plan? Do you have an AI task force? Yeah, AI has officially moved from being extra credit to a required course.
So, how on earth do we navigate this? Well, I think the best way is to learn from someone who's already walked the path. So let's follow the story of a high school principal who started with these exact same questions and anxieties and actually found a way to turn AI from a headache into a pretty powerful partner.
His whole journey kicked off with a classic pain point, one I'm sure we can all relate to: classroom observations. You know how they can so often turn into these subjective arguments based on feelings, right? He wanted to get away from conversations like, I feel like you should ask more engaging questions, and move towards something concrete, something backed by real data.
So he ran a little experiment. Using an AI tool, he analyzed 287 questions that teachers asked across 7 different classes. Now, what you're seeing here is the raw data the AI spit out, a super detailed breakdown. Don't worry about reading all the tiny text. But what this analysis found, well, it was a genuine aha moment.
This was the number that changed everything. Of all those questions, only 28.9% were what the study called reflective questions. You know, the deep, critical thinking prompts that really get students' wheels turning. Most of them were just basic recall or what's the next step type questions.
But here's the most important part. It wasn't about the number itself. It was about what happened next. That data wasn't used to point fingers or criticize anyone. Instead, it became a shared starting point. The whole conversation shifted from a tense evaluation to a collaborative goal. It's a perfect example of keeping a human in the loop. The AI gives you the objective data, but the humans, the teachers, the principal, they use it to grow together.
And this really powerful personal experience, it wasn't just a one-off. It led to the creation of something that any school can actually use. Because, let's be honest, we don't need another list of 50 random AI tools. What we need is a map. We need a framework that can guide our growth.
And here it is. This is that map, the Ai-ECMD growth journey. The name stands for Engage, Create, Manage, and Design, the 4 key stages. It's designed to be this clear, encouraging path that takes you from just being a basic user asking AI questions all the way to designing brand new learning experiences with it. It's not a checklist, it's a journey.
The whole journey is broken down into 4 pretty common sense stages. First, you engage. You just learn to ask good questions. Then you create. You start using AI as a co-pilot to make stuff. After that, you manage. This is where you learn to govern the tools, to fact-check them. And finally, you design, where you become an architect, building your own AI-powered lessons. Now, this chart looks like a lot, I know, but it basically just shows how our role changes at each stage. For instance, at the create stage, a teacher is a co-creator, using tools to build lesson plans. But by the design stage, they become an architect, using more advanced platforms to build something totally new. The whole idea is this steady, manageable progression of skills.
Okay, so this is amazing for one teacher, right? But the crucial point here is that this isn't just about one person's journey. So now let's zoom out and see how this can become the blueprint for an entire school.
Because having 1 or 2 teachers taking these steps,
is great. It's powerful. But when a whole school commits to this journey together, that is when you get a real, honest-to-goodness transformation. It stops being about isolated experiments and starts becoming a shared culture.
And this is what that kind of system looks like in action. Let's just break this down real quick. See how everything at the bottom is built on a secure foundation? That's priority one. It means having a private, safe AI system for your school, kind of like a sandbox where students and teachers can experiment without risk. It all starts with safety and making life easier.
Then, sitting right on top of that solid base, you have these two parallel tracks. For students, the journey is all about going from being just a consumer of tech to an active creator. For teachers, the path is about moving from simply using AI to be more efficient to thoughtfully designing totally new ways of learning. Both groups are growing, just with different goals.
Which brings us to the ultimate point of all of this. The big why. Why should we build these frameworks and systems? It's not really about the tech, is it? It's about what the technology gives back to us, the humans.
And it really all comes down to this. The true promise of this entire journey is letting AI take over the grunt work, the grading, the endless paperwork, the admin tasks that eat up our day. It frees us from the tyranny of the urgent.
And for what? So that we can pour our energy into the things that are uniquely, irreplaceably human. Mentoring that student who's struggling, building a real community in the classroom, fostering character. The greatest gift of AI isn't that it makes us more like machines, it's that it frees us up to be more human.
So, we'll leave you with this question. Just think about it for a second. If AI could magically give you back 2 hours of admin work every single day, what would you do with that time? What irreplaceable human connection would you create? That is the future this journey makes possible. Thanks so much for joining us.